Now this is the kind of terrain I dread encountering when I'm back here. It's just, I mean, it looks like it was logged, but it wasn't. This was all blown down. I don't know if you can see it, but there's blue over there. Peeking through the trees. Well, here I am. I found the lake. Hey, it's Greg here with Outdoors on the Cheap. I'm doing a little bushwhacking today, exploring some new territory. And I'm in the middle of a river. Or I guess you could call it a system of creeks, right? Having a heck of a time finding my way across this. So, you know, when you look at this on a map, it's just a line. And even on Google Earth, it looks like, on Google Earth, it looks like nothing. But once I'm in here, it's just all this stuff, right? There's another, oh, you can see the water moving over there, but it's like the size of a highway. But all different little rivers. I've already crossed another sort of system of creeks over there, right? And it's not too bad today because it's around 0 C and the rocks aren't covered in ice. But yeah, I gotta find a way. If I'm gonna hunt way over there, there's a lake over there that I'm interested in for fishing that I've never been to. Reasonably sized lake, small lake by most people's standards. But very remote, doesn't seem to be any cabins or anything on it, so I'm hoping it's like one of those lakes nobody goes to. But certainly, I mean, the point today is just to find it, right? It's about 2 kilometers that way, I think, 2 kilometers east, right? So easy orienteering. This river system is not perfectly straight, but it basically runs north-south, and the way out is west. And the way to the other lake, based on my reading of the map, is over that way, about 1.5 kilometers. I'm planning to just hike to it and have lunch over there. But first I gotta get across this water. So I thought I'd bring you along with me just for the day, out in the woods. Hopefully I find that lake and just show you what I see along the way. Got the old nylon 66 thing. I put a scope on it. So we'll have a go with that, but I'm really happy with this little rifle. But yeah, let's see if we can see some rabbits and see what kind of trouble we can get into. All right, let's go. Man, it's really pristine back here. I gotta say, I'm just in a little low-lying bog right now. There's a big hill there I gotta go over. I'm hoping the lake's on the other side of that, but I don't know. Your sense of distance when you're bushwhacking, I mean, it doesn't look too bad here, but some of the spots are pretty tight. I mean, there's spots here I've had to go through on my hands and knees just to get through the brush. Because there's no trails back here, right? I'm not seeing any sign. I mean, this is a pretty good game trail right here. You can almost see footprints right there. Something was walking here not so long ago, right? You can just tell it's like here, there's a game trail. It's pushed down, right? There's another one going that way. Bit of an intersection here, another one going that way. Bit of water there. And this is kind of like a bog, right? It's like a water course, but not a river. And perfectly flat down here. Anyway, I gotta wade into that thick stuff and get in those woods. I'm hoping I mean, this is a wilderness area. There's no log in here, so, you know, you'd think the woods would be nice big trees and easy walking, but it's so close to the ocean. There's always hurricanes and tropical storms blowing all the trees down, so the big forests tend to be tough going. But sometimes you get a spot where it's just kind of wind protected and it's easy going through the forest. We'll see. It should be magical if it's not all blown down. Just a question of how steep it is over there. Whether I'm going up a cliff. I thought I'd just show this little rig I got on my little scope here. I decided to just play with having a scope on this. I mean, I'm 50 and I can see okay, but I don't trust my eyes. I need them for reading now. To a little, you know, I can read without them, but it's not preferable. Anyway, you know, these scopes come with a little, you know, almost like pop bottle caps you can put on either end, but you're always losing them. So I find with a couple little cups like this, just leather, attached to elastic band, right? It's easy to get it off, right? You don't want to be messing with stuff. And I find with the little cups, what you tend to do is leave them off, as opposed to a system like this where you tend to use them because I'm doing this with my left hand while I'm holding the camera. That's why it looks a bit awkward. But when you're holding this with your left and doing it with your right, it's easy to slip these covers on and off, and that keeps all the sticks and snow and pine needles and stuff like that out of your scope. This is just a cheap Tasco 4-power scope. Anyway, I'm going to keep going here and see what kind of hill we got over there. Well, so far the going hasn't been too bad going through these woods. It was quite steep, I'd say 45-degree incline going up the hill. And I think I'm pretty much at the top. This is just a magical spot, a clearing in the woods. It seems to be, even though it's a fairly windy day, you can see trees moving around. It's not very windy here. You got this massive, I think this is a spruce tree, maybe a fir tree. I'm not a tree expert. Not a hemlock, but just massive tree, almost 2 feet at the base, providing all this nice shade. But yeah, just a nice quiet. You can almost see, like right over here, you can see this is like a doorway where the deer come through. Right? You can see deer poop and scat right there. It looks like a deer door, and it is a deer door. Right? It's a good spot, but just so peaceful and quiet. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bobcat or something up in that tree taking a nap. Yeah, you can see where the trail goes out over there. What a peaceful spot, a great spot to sit and have lunch. But I was hoping to have lunch by the lake, so I'm going to press on a little bit. Even though it's just, you got the sun, no wind, even a nice tree to sit on right here. Almost looks like someone put it there. But you can tell I'm not close to civilization or anything, because this is the kind of place you'd see a fire pit, beer cans, Tim Hortons cups, junk. I haven't seen a scrap of anything. This is just beautiful, pristine wilderness. Just loving it out here. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little further. Well, damn, I'm at the top of the hill looking down, and I thought there'd be a lake on the other side in this ravine, and it's just a big bog. So that means the lake's over the next hill. You can see a ridge. I gotta go over that to get to the lake, I'm guessing. Just goes to show how difficult it is. I mean, unless it's off to the left, but it's a fairly big lake. I don't think I'm at the like southern tip of it. That way's north. I think this is just a big bog system. I mean, I'll know when I get down there, I guess. But I'm pretty sure this is just a big bog system. And I gotta go through that thick stuff to get to the lake. And I just feel like I've gone far enough, because that's what happens when you're walking through rough country. I mean, my street is, it's a loop. I know it's a circular street, and it's 3 kilometers long, and I can walk it in, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. I don't know how long it takes. Not too long, right? I guarantee I've been at this at least an hour. And also, I haven't seen any game. I mean, I've seen sign, right? But I haven't seen one rabbit. I saw one partridge. Just about scared the life out of me. Exploded out of a tree. Yeah, I haven't seen any rabbits moving around. It's a nice sunny day. I mean, there's a bit of snow on the ground, but not much. The forest is mostly green, so it's sort of an ideal day to be walking around trying to scare up some snowshoe hare. But I haven't seen them. Now, I'm not actively hunting. I'm trying to put on distance, so I'm not going as slowly and as carefully as I might otherwise go. So that might be why I'm not seeing them. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. So just wanted to share some of this beautiful, pristine wilderness. It's like a kind of a small rock face, I guess. Clearly a game trail going along here, right? Hole over there, looks like a cave. Right? Probably a porcupine cave, I'm guessing. Hopefully not a bear cave. I gotta go up this. Not too bad. Right? But I mean, look at this woods. Look at the moss. Just look how beautiful and pristine. Right? Beautiful. Can't get enough of it. Continuing on. Now this is the kind of terrain I dread encountering when I'm back here. It's just, I mean, it looks like it was logged, but it wasn't. This was all blown down. You can't log back here. See, the trees only grow so high, and they die, and then they get blown over, or even the living ones get blown over. So you just get all these shin buster type situations. I mean, it's great terrain for rabbits, right? All the big spruce trees broke. You can see there's new spruce trees growing, right? These are probably, I don't know, 5 years old or something. And you got a lot of alders, right? And young birch. So there's lots, I mean, it's great for rabbit and partridge and stuff like that. There's lots of interesting things to eat, lots of places to hide. But getting through this is just, it's just a broken ankle waiting to happen. And I just crossed my, I think, bog number 4, trying to find this lake. And boy, I thought I'd be at it by now. Anyway, I'm gonna press on here. I haven't got too much sunlight. I only got like a couple hours of sunlight left. So if I don't have eyes on this in the next 15 minutes, I mean, I'm only trying to go a couple kilometers, right? But you do not walk straight lines in terrain like this. It's all zigzag. So to go 2 kilometers as the crow flies, you might have to go 6 or 7 when you work up all the just micro zigzags, right? Yeah. Anyway, we'll go a little further, see what we can see. And if I can't get there, I might have to turn around. I got, like, you know, you count the sun in terms of your fist. There's 2 fists of sun left. So, you know, I'm taking time to stop and make video footage and stuff like that here and there. But, yeah, if I don't find it soon, I'm going to have to just call it quits. Otherwise, Mrs. Outdoors on the cheap might start getting concerned. All right, let's keep going. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's blue over there peeking through the trees. I'm about 150 yards, maybe 200 yards from the lake. Meters, yards, whatever you want to call them. Not far. Well, I was really starting to think about turning back. I just had a really good fall. And usually to me that's a sign that bad luck, or just you're getting tired and you know, you don't want to fall down in the woods. That's even with a walking stick. I was going through some really thick stuff and I basically stepped right off a ledge and didn't even know it. Just, luckily nothing quite twisted or broken or hurt. I didn't lose an eye. Anyway, let's get over to that lake. Have a look-see. Well, here I am. I found the lake. I won't say what lake it is because I don't want a whole bunch of people here. Anyway, this is a very remote lake. As far as I could tell from looking on Google Earth, there was no trails going to it. It's, I'd have to do a measurement when I get home and give you a sense of the size of it. It's not an enormous lake. I mean, that's the other side. I can swim across it, right? Let's say it's, maybe 1 kilometer wide and 3 kilometers long. Maybe not even that, right? So, yeah, a lot of rocks sticking out. It was really, the last 200 yards was rough because it was all this, whatever this brush is. Every step was like doing a 25-pound leg press, which doesn't sound like much, 25-pound leg press, but I just did like 200 of them, maybe 300, just to get from where I shot that last footage to the water's edge. For those that are going to ask, I can't ice fish on this lake. In Nova Scotia, there's very strict rules about ice fishing. You can't ice fish on the mainland. You really can't ice fish anywhere unless they say you can. You can't just ice fish on a lake. And yeah, the only trout lakes you can ice on or ice fish on are stocked. You can ice fish on the lakes that have been invaded by chain pickerel and bass. But I've tried about 3 times to catch those through the ice. There's some knack to it. I think you need good minnows. But anyway, I can't ice fish on this lake. I can only freshwater fish here. And holy smokes, what an effort getting here. If I were to come here to fish, I'd have to spend the night. And then I'd have to invest some serious time finding a decent place to camp. Because I'm right out and I'm totally exposed here, right? I'd probably camp on the edge of the woods over there. And then there's so much of trout season, you're not allowed to have fires here because there's such a risk of forest fires. And on and on and on and on and on, right? Usually when you want to trout fish, you want to fish a river. You want to fish a lake from a boat. If you're fishing from shore, river's the best bet. But I mean, it's a nice lake, nice big lake. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a try next spring. But I have to think about it. I have to study the bath a bit more, and I definitely have to scout this area out. But as far as I can tell from looking on Google Earth very closely, there is nothing leading to this, and I didn't see any sign of cabins or shacks or anything like that, which there shouldn't be out here anyway, but people do it anyway. Anyway, I'm pretty bushwhacked, but I got a good, I don't know, at least 2-hour hike out of here. Even though I only got to go about 3 kilometers to get to the road. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm gonna have my little peanut butter sandwich and some water and head out of here. Whew. Boy, I just finished pushing through all that heavy brush there. Boy, that's exhausting. I'm just catching my breath here. I thought I'd share a couple pointers for, serious, this is thick woods, right? Like, the only reason there isn't wall-to-wall trees in here, I mean, everything, it's like there's 1,000 hands trying to grab onto your arms and legs and hold you back. It's exhausting to go through it, right? There's just a little clearing here. But I thought I'd share a couple pointers for doing this kind of bushwhacking. Now, I mean, I'm doing this old school with a compass. And of course, if you're going to do that, bring a backup compass in case you lose your compass, right? Happens, right? What's that old military maxim? 2 is 1, 1 is none, something like that. It just means always bring 2 because you might lose one. I always have a backup, maybe even a backup for the backup. There's that. And it's always important, like, so I've got this set up from an orienteering point of view, and I've got my gun far away. When you're always checking your compass, set your gun down and walk away from it, right? So it's not drawn to the, it doesn't throw it off. I've got it set to north and the arrow's pointing west. That's the way I want to go out. Came in east, going out west. Dead simple, right? But as you can tell, I don't want to point this camera right at the sun, but this direction is west. The sun is actually southwest west, I guess I call it. It's more west than south, but it's southwest, but more west than south, so you call that southwest west. So if I were to walk directly towards the sun, I would not be going west. Right? It'll become more west as it sets, but this time of year the sun does not set in the west, it sets in the southwest. So you have to know that, right? Or just use a compass, right? There's all kinds of technical aspects of using a compass: angle of inclination, angle of declination. But if you're only going a few kilometers, that does not matter in any meaningful way. You'll come out close to where you went in if you go in relatively straight one direction, relatively straight the other. So that's what I'm doing now. The other thing I wanted to show is just pants and boots. You go to a place like Mountain Equipment Co-op, they do not sell something like this for going through the woods. And you got to have something like this, because I've gone through at least 5 bogs to get to this lake. I go up a hill, then down a hill into a bog, up a hill and down a hill into a bog. And some of those bogs I've been up almost to my, ankle or shin. There's certain deep spots, you got to worry about them, right? And the other trick is having these kind of pants. Pants are wet at the bottom, but I got them over the boots, right? I got long johns underneath. It's only 0 today, but the reason you do that is by doing it this way. You think you want to tuck the pants in the boots, but if you do that, you get a million sticks and pine needles and things in your boots. So you put the pants over the boots. And pants, do not go to a hiking store and buy hiking pants if you're doing this. They'll get torn to shreds. You need working pants. Now, I got these at Mark's Work Warehouse. These are for like carpenters and bricklayers. They got double layered, the 2 layers over the knees. They're made of almost like a canvas. They're extremely strong and tough. But heavy pockets with big Velcro tabs, right? Lots of good pockets. Lots of strong, deep, solid pockets. Big back pockets with Velcro over them, right? This is the kind of pants you want for this sort of stuff. right? Tough, right? With reinforced knees. We can't stress the reinforced knees enough. Anyway, enough talking. Time to go back into it. Time to wade back into it. You're practically swimming in this. Whoa, what a difference finding my way out. I took a different route. I mean, I just came in using a compass. I didn't go out the way I came in. I came in east, so I went out west. But I did not follow the same route. And it was very hard going on my way in. A lot of up, a lot of down, a lot of up, a lot of down. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. I decided to just try to stick to highs, follow deer trails as much as I could, and just stick to the compass as best as possible, but not as straight. Okay, so when I went to the lake, I followed the compass as straight as I could. I didn't want to get lost. I'm just going with the compass, and you check your compass often. On the way out, I said, I was exhausted. My legs were kind of shot. So I said, how about I just follow deer trails that are close to, as long as they're less than 45 degrees in the direction I'm going, I'll take the deer trail and just, sort of skip from trail to trail as needed. Any sort of thick area, if there's a deer trail through it, try to go through it. That sort of thing, right? Roughly following deer trails, but sometimes you can't. They just don't go the right direction. But that lake over there, the river I crossed empties into that lake. And I'm less than a kilometer from that lake. There's still some sun, thank goodness. Right? Once I cross the river, I could pretty much walk home in the dark if I had to. But yeah, that lake is major landmark. So I'm not far from that lake. I gotta find a place to cross the river that feeds the lake, and then I'm about 20 minutes from home. Well, 20-30 minutes from home. Anyway, so yeah, I just drank the last of my water. I didn't want to have to make a fire and boil water and all sort of stuff. Yeah, it's time to just have a big push home and call it quits. Found my way out, but I just wanted to log this little bit of extra in just to show that, just because the way in's hard, if you go out the way you came in, yes. If the way in's hard, the way out's going to be hard. But it's basically, I went into the lake, and then I followed the lake a little bit, followed a game trail along the lake, and then went out. So I came out roughly parallel to the way I went in, but way easier. This luck. It's not like any great sort of wood lure that I used. I just got lucky on the way out, way easier. I instead of following the compass straight, I just took every easy path and just tried to, because the sun was sort of, I wasn't going directly towards the sun, it was off to the left a little bit. But it was very easy the orienteering was easier going out because I had the sun, right? I just sort of kept it in the corner of my left eye and to check my compass from time to time just to make sure I was going straight enough, and yeah, what a difference. Way easier hike out. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. I saw a couple partridge. I saw some rabbits. I didn't see any rabbits, just sign. But the walkout, I've been walking fast and hard, just trying to get home. So not going to see anything going like that unless you get, just dead lucky. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, enjoy the outdoors on the cheap. Thanks for watching.